Hi crafty friend, it's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today I'm going to show you two different takes on registration templates styles. They are both going to be from Dina and Spellbinders, so this should be a little bit different. Each project should be just a little bit different, and I hope that you enjoy. And let me know which one you like best at the end in the comments. So I'm going to start with my paper. Now this paper I have watercolored separately. I batch a lot of my watercolors and I just like to have them all dry and on hand. So I have that secure. And then this is the registration template for this registration plate. So the two that I have in my craft room today are called Growing and Flourishing. So this one that is the longer stem is called Flourishing. For registration templates, you always want to make sure that you have the writing and the logo for whatever company you're using. This one happens to be Spellbinders. You want that up so you can see it clearly. If it's backwards, you have your template backwards. On something like this, I don't think it would matter if you did it backwards. In fact, I think it would be just fine. You could even flip it around and have it be on the top, but we're going to follow the directions and do this design just like it has it laid out for us here. So I just like to tape it down. I like tape. What can I say? All right, so for registration templates, they have different outlines of different colors. So you can see they have blue, pink, and green. And those are the typical colors that they choose. I'm so sorry that it's so much of a glare, but that's what happens when you have a light on. Okay. So we're going to do this in 3 rounds of pressing. So I'm just going to grab the piece that fits in the little template and we will start a pressing. I have lots of Better Press ink colors. So for a background like this, I think that I'd like to do some colors that will complement my project, but still be a bit of a pop. So I think I'm going to grab Spruce. We'll do Leaf for the leaf. So creative of me. And then I think let's just do 3 colors because I don't want it to get too muddy. How about Cosmic Sky? We'll do these 3 colors. So let's see, let's do Cosmic Sky for this little rainbow. Now when I press, I like to use my platinum to run my machine through, and I have the 8.5 inch and it's off camera, but I promise you that is what's happening. So I'm just gonna stick it on like this. These magnets will be pressed down when it runs through my machine. So when I pick it up from my desk, I'm grabbing the white bottom part and I'm not pressing down on this top. That's what the platinum will do. That's not my job. My job is just to get it there. So I'm just going to turn and run it through. Gotta put the little arms down. And 1 press is enough. I would not recommend going back and forth through the platinum. That can cause some ghosting or like a shadow effect, and you don't really want that. You want it to be nice and crisp and clean. And that is dry right away, especially since I'm using watercolor paper, which sucks up all the ink nicely, and I don't have to worry about it. So I'll set that off to the side. I'll clean my plates after I'm done filming today. I love to use LDRS Creative Extreme Clean for cleaning off my plates. And if you grab that from ldrscreative.com, which stands for Little Darling Rubber Stamps, if you grab that cleaner, use code Melanie15, and that helps get you 15% off, thanks to my darling friend Melanie. All right, I am going to use Leaf for these 2. These are the 2 pieces that are outlined in blue. And if you are inking and your plates kind of wiggle, it's okay. Go with it. Get the ink on, and when you're done getting your ink on your plate, then gently kind of push it back over to the outline. It's not that serious. It's gonna be okay, I promise. So that was Leaf, Cosmic Sky. Again, I'm just going to close it up. Only touch the white part. If this is difficult for you, just grab the handle and slide it. And then when I'm transporting it back, I'm using the handle and I have my hand supporting the bottom. So again, I'm not pressing down on this top. Don't want to do that. Ooh, it's looking so cool. Okay, I want that to be a little, yeah, this spruce is gonna be good. Never mind. Trust the process. And you can also glimmer these, which is really neat, but we will not be doing that today. I do have lots of videos on my channel glimmering better press plates. So I know that these are little. These little guys are gonna move around when I add ink, but again, we're not gonna panic. This is spruce. You can always move them. See, oh, they're moving. And when I have a background that's already kind of wild like this, I don't really worry about having ink kind of smudged on the registration template that isn't on my little plates, because I know that whatever, if it gets on the background, it's no biggie. But for the clean and simple version, yeah, we're gonna pay attention to that. And there we have it. Isn't that neat? So what I'm gonna do next is I'm probably gonna use this one that says Gentle Hugs. Yeah. And I'm going to splatter some, probably one of these on there off camera, and then I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do the clean and simple version of this. Well, since my plates were already dirty because I just used it on this project, I figured why not press out with the same ink on a white porcelain better press paper, so you can see the difference of how the ink looks on a watercolor background versus a clean background. Just figured I'd share. And now this has been splattered, so I'm going to set this off to the side to dry as I work on my next set. So for this one, I want a little bit more of a colorful look, and it will still be clean and simple. This trio of colors is one of my favorites because it's just so happy and cheerful, and when you look at it, you can't stop smiling. At least I can't. So I'm going to go ahead and make my leaf be the teal topaz. So it's a really gorgeous blue. And I'll just ink that up really nicely. And then we'll run that through. It's kind of a choppy video because of all of the better pressing, but hopefully you don't mind. Ooh, that is so crisp. Okay. Set that off to the side, and then next we're gonna go with our little textures, I guess I would call them texture circles. These it does not really matter where you put which one, in my opinion. They're just fun textures. I think I'm definitely gonna keep this set out and close on my desk because this would be super great just to pull out. Even these 3 circles would be cool for adding texture on other mixed media projects. Definitely one to keep around. All right, that was Wildberry. Put that right over. I have a feeling I'm going to get some cute blending with that topaz and pink. Yes, look at that. It almost looks 3D. That is so neat. All right, and then we'll go in with the last set of texture circles. These are kind of like little dots, little splatters. It doesn't have to be perfectly on the registration template in this case because there really is not a right, a wrong, and up and down for these. If you were doing a registration template that had a lot of little details and things that needed to be in the right place, I would say be a little more cautious with your placements, but no matter which way you put some of these, it's going to be adorable either way. But that is really neat. I'm loving this. So I've gone ahead and finished off these two, basically just by using a nesting die that I had in my stash. This one was called, or is called, Notched Corner Frames. And I just layered it with some black, and then I did pop up my sentiments, and I will link these sentiments down below if you're curious. And then I'm using some of these essential gems from Spellbinders to embellish this card, and I'm going to use some on this card as well. But here's a look at these two finished ones. I just need to put a card base on them. At the moment, they're just the card fronts. But let's finish off this card together. So I've used another stash item, which is called Emerald Cut Labels and Tag. And it has these really cool little lines on here, and they give a lot of texture. I really like that. So we're going to go ahead and layer that up. Look how cool that is. I just really enjoy it. Mixed media. I feel like it's kind of my creative play space. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be straight. It doesn't have to match perfectly. I just really have enjoyed all the creative freedom that comes with mixed media. All right, this panel, I'm going to wrap this string around, and this is DMC Floss. It's the copper color one, and I thought that it would look really good with my sentiment. You can see I glimmered that with the same kind of coppery color. So that's going to match, and copper goes very well with navy blue. So that is the vision here. I'm going to tape down my end of the floss here. Let's see which side is the top and the bottom. And then we'll wrap it around. I don't always trust double-sided adhesive, but for something like this, I think it can do the job. It's not that I'm just like weird and I don't trust it. It's just sometimes it pops off. All right, I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. Ooh, I can't be too strong with it because it looks like it did kind of indent my paper. Well, that's where it will live, I guess. This green cardstock that I'm using is very thin, so it's not too surprising that it kind of was indented. It's just some cardstock that I got from a friend who was done with scrapbooking. She gave me a lot of paper, which is so sweet, and I can definitely put it to good use. All right, then I'm going to layer this onto the navy blue paper. There's that Minnesota accent coming out again. She likes to play. And then this is one of those dies where it's kind of every other, has the texture, and look how cool that looks all matted up together. I'm just gonna flip it upside down and give it a gentle long press. And then as that is sitting, I'm going to get the foam ready on these pieces. And I want to pop all of these up because I love when there is dimension. And I don't know, I've been trying not to say pop up because I do have some international watchers, and I think when it translates pop up to different languages, it can be a little bit confusing. So I'm going to raise these pieces up off of the card, so they'll be a little bit higher up on my project. And I do that with foam tape. These scissors are the Spellbinders trimmer scissors, and they are non-stick. They make it so easy to cut up this foam. I love it. And then these ones, I will put just a little strip on the back of these. By the way, the foam strips that I use are cheapo, but they do the job. And we're gonna just put that right on there. That is so perfectly sized. And then we'll put it on the other one. I think I need to do 2 layers because it is a little bit wider. And these are just sentiments that I had in my stash. A lot of the sentiments that some companies have been making are the press once, cut once, or the glimmer once, cut once. And so you get all these extra sentiments, and it's just so wonderful because then you can use them on all these projects. So I really like that. What I'm going to do next, oh, I should have put this on here. Well, we'll do that now, is layer on my blue paper onto my green. Happy day. And then we will add on my little extra goodies. And then we have the sentiment that says, "To my sister, have an epic birthday." Whoopsie. Now I have to cut some of this foam off because this is going to go over on my little sprig here and it will not lay flat. So we're going to aggressively remove some of this foam and hope for the best, that nothing will rip. All right, we're looking good. Have an epic birthday. Now I don't have a sister, I have sister-in-laws, so maybe I'll use it for one of them. You know, once you get married, it's kind of like everybody's family at that point. I'm going to make these sentiments a little bit wonky just for some fun. All right, and then I am going to add just a little bit of glue behind where I removed the foam, just so it doesn't lift off in the future. And then we're going to finish with some gems. My gem placement is always random, so there isn't too much of a rhyme to the reason there, but I like to have an odd number most of the time. So I have 9 here, clusters of 3, and then this little bundle of 3 here. So let me know your favorite. I think mine today is a little bit different than my usual. I think this green one is my favorite, but I like these other ones for different reasons. So who knows? Ooh, this is actually a little bit smaller than A2. Huh, my teal is cut down. Well, I'm going to layer another pink on the back then. I don't know how I didn't catch that before. Ooh, yes. That will be super cute. Let's just quick do that. As I'm finishing this one, maybe you can pick your favorite and be adding it to the comments if you haven't done it yet. I also would love to know if you've used registration templates before and your thoughts and opinions on it. And if you have any tips and tricks, let me know in the comments. All right, that is super cute. I have now finished all 3, so you get to pick a favorite now. So thank you again for watching. If you've learned or liked anything in this video, please go ahead and hit the like button, and then you can subscribe for more videos in your future from me. We'll see you next time. Bye, crafty friend.